Hi everyone. I promised I'd tell the story next, so here it goes. This is how I got to Phoenix. I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, and a buddy of mine, Chappie, I call him Chappie, I'll just continue to call him Chappie through this, he showed my door, and he'd recently been kicked out, so I was like, well, let's go. He's like, where are we going? I said, I don't know, who cares, let's just go. So we get in the car. I had a 69 Impala back then, and we're driving around, and we go to the mall, and we run into these magazine sales group people. They knock on your door and say, hey, I'm in this contest to sell these magazines, can you help me out, or I'm a college student, whatever their spiel is that they're giving you. I mean, it was a scam, but it wasn't a scam, because you really got your magazines, but I don't think there was any real contest. We told them our situation. They're like, well, you want a job? I mean, we'll give you a place to live, and food to eat, and make some money. So, sounded good. We had nothing else going on, so we go and interview with these people at a hotel, and they take us on, and unfortunately I had to unload my car, so I signed a blank piece of paper to a friend of mine because his mom was a notary, and they just did all the other stuff they had to do to get the car transferred over. And because I couldn't have it in my name in case something happened to it while I was gone, I'd have to deal with that while I'm on the road. So I got rid of my car, and I started traveling with them, and they take us first to Oklahoma City. We're there for 2 weeks, and I almost got arrested there because you're not allowed to knock door to door. I was in Norman, Oklahoma, right outside of Oklahoma City, and the cops made me wait there, and that sucked. I had to sit, for hours on the corner until they came by and picked me up in the van. And they're like, why are you sitting here? I'm like, well, the police are watching me and made me sit here. They were going to arrest me. So, we do that, and then we get to Dallas, and every night with these people, I mean, they give you $15 a day to eat on, at least back then. I mean, this is 92, November 92, October, November 92. And again, it's $15 a day to eat on. So we'd eat and stuff, and every night was a party. I mean, they always had tons of beer and tons of pot, and it was craziness, just a crazy, crazy experience. And I get to Dallas, and we get rained on. I'm like, I'm not knocking door to door in the rain. This is stupid. So, they said, well, you're going to do it or you're going to have to quit. So I decided to quit. And by law, they got to give you a bus ticket back home. Well, Chappie and I both didn't want to go back to Kansas City. So I chose to go to Carlsbad, New Mexico, of all places. My dad used to live there when I was younger, and I visited, and I thought it was a pretty nice place, so we'd go there. And the bus ride there was horrible because it was, middle of the night, down south even, it gets cold. And the bus had no heat, so that stunk. Then we get to Carlsbad, and we couldn't find any jobs or any apartments that were available. So we gotta leave. So we go north, and we stayed the night at Roswell, New Mexico. And at Roswell, we stayed at the Salvation Army there, and we were so hungry. I mean, it had been so long since we had some food. I mean, because we were hitchhiking all day, and we're staying the night there. And the next morning when we get up, they're serving breakfast, and it's Raisin Bran. So we hadn't eaten in, I don't know, day and a half, 2 days. So we're eating the Raisin Bran, and I noticed there's weevils in my cereal, and we just kept eating. We were that hungry, we just kept eating. So, I mean, if that grosses you out and you don't think you could do it, then you haven't been that hungry yet. Because when you're really hungry, you'll eat just about anything. So, we thanked them for what they did, and we went north. And we get a Mexican family drove us north. They let us ride in the back of their pickup truck, and they dropped us off at Klein's Corners, New Mexico. And in Klein's Corners, we flipped a coin. One heads we'd go north, and tails we'd go west. If we're going to go north, we're going to try to get on a fishing boat somewhere. Who knows? Just an idea we had in our head. And the coin toss sent us west. So we were going west, and we get picked up by this crazy woman. She had all these boxes of paper in the back of her truck. It was a hippie-looking truck. And an address in the back of the truck said she was from D.C. area. This one was nuts. I mean, when we'd see someone on the side of the road, she'd be like, there they are again. They're following me. What are they doing there? And the lady freaked me out. She scared me. And the fact that she would stop and pick up two 18-year-old guys by herself, I mean, she could be too right in the head. But she takes us there across the Flagstaff down to Phoenix. She drops us off in North Phoenix. Then we're walking through some neighborhoods, and we find out what ornamental orange trees are, because we picked some oranges off some guy's tree and eat those, and they were disgusting. So don't eat ornamental oranges. But we ended up staying the night with some dude that we met just walking around, and he bought us some pizza, and the next morning he got us some McDonald's and gave us $10 each. So we walked to we're walking west. We took a bus to the outer limits of Phoenix, which the bus didn't go very far back then. This was, like I said, 92. I mean, now the buses go a lot farther. But we get so far out, and we're walking and walking and walking, and we come to a sign that says, "No hitchhiking, state prison." So, right about then I lost it. Because I was hot, I was tired, I was carrying everything I owned on my back, and I just started unloading stuff. I dumped most of what I owned on the ground right there. So police stopped us and told us we had to wait at the on-ramp. We couldn't be walking along the highway. So we're waiting there, and finally we get picked up, and we get to truck stop, the first truck stop outside town there. We eat dinner at the buffet, and then we hitchhike some more and get to the first rest area outside of Phoenix. We stay the night there, and we sleep on the park benches, and they're not big enough for your whole body to be on the bench. So our feet were hanging off, so our feet were frozen when we woke up in the morning. And we're in the bathrooms trying to warm our feet up with the hot air hand dryer things in the bathroom, and it didn't work. Our feet were just frozen. It sucked. But some lady that morning gave us some apples to eat. She was in a Winnebago type thing, and so we ate the apples. We were thankful for those, and then we get picked up by a Gideon Bible guy. And at the time, I didn't believe in any of that, and I just wanted the guy to shut up. He was telling us stories of the Bible, this and the other, and I just wanted him to stop talking. He didn't. And we get to L.A., and he's going to his daughter's house, and they feed us a spaghetti dinner. And I can't remember if we stayed the night there or not, but we were homeless on the streets of L.A. We spent time panhandling for food. We'd get enough food to eat at McDonald's. We'd eat some bean burritos, and then we'd go into the mall, hang out at a bookstore or something. I mean, because we still looked clean. We weren't like dirty like most homeless people were. And we were, downtown LA, and not too good a place. And at the time, I'm worried about mentioning this because I don't want people to judge me based on who I used to be, because I used to be a very bad person. I mean, evil person. I have a shaved head now, but it's because, as you can see, I'm bald. I don't have no hair out there to grow any, and the whole fan thing that people have going on, with this comb over, is just not for me. So at the time, when I lived with my father, I told you in another video that I dropped out of school a couple times. When I lived with my dad, I went to a school of 2,000 students, and it was 1% minority. 1%. So, they didn't act any different. Everybody was the same. It was a white upper class school. Everyone acted the same. Now you drop out for 6 months, and I go to school again. And I'm staying at my mom's, and I started going to school down there, and it was 60% minority. And it was just a huge culture shock for me. I couldn't understand what they were saying, because they talked so different, and they dressed so different, their music was so different, and it was just a different world. And I allowed that difference to turn into hate. And when you start hating, you just hate everybody, and I did. I hated everybody. It didn't matter if you were white, black, Mexican, Chinese. I hated everybody. If you weren't in my little circle, I had no care for you at all. And I'm glad that time in my life is over. So hopefully no one gives these messages that I'm racist or anything like that, because I'm not anymore, but I honestly used to be. And, well, I hated everybody. And I mentioned that because here I am in downtown LA, 7th Street in San Julian if you live in LA, and it's 92. I mean, there's people smoking crack everywhere, and people standing on those big barrels with fire in them. I mean, it was really like that. And I've got a shaved head, combat boots on, I'm wearing this jacket with an iron cross on it, and, obviously by looking at me, I was a hate person. A skinhead. I didn't want to say it, but I was a skinhead. And a black guy from Jamaica buys me and Chappie our first meal down there. We're on the streets, he's homeless, and he's sitting there smoking his crack pipe and talking to us and telling us stories about Jamaica and all that. He said his name was Jamaica. But it's obvious looking at me who I am, what I stood for. But he goes and buys us a burrito at this place and gives us some cigarettes, and he offers us the crack, but we didn't take any of that. But, I mean, and then he walks us around and introduces us to other homeless people in the area and lets them know that we're okay. I mean, this guy probably saved our lives. you know, and why would he do that? I didn't understand. And that's where I think YouTube will help with that type of ignorance that I had. People can share their lives and their videos and get to know and understand the differences instead of having this hate develop inside them, because it's not good. Hate is not good. I'm very glad that time of my life is in the past. But anyways, we're on the streets of LA, and we get a check for being homeless after 30 days. And when we left Phoenix, as we went through Phoenix, we saw a lot of help wanted signs, a lot of $1.99 move-in specials for apartments. So we're like, well, let's go to Phoenix. $50 airline ticket. We flew into Phoenix. We both got a job at Jack in the Box and Long John Silver's at 19th Avenue and Bell, and that's where we lived, in an apartment complex just a little north of there. We got a 2-bedroom place and had nothing. I mean, we sat on the floor, we ate steak, because we were like, are we going to get furniture or are we going to eat good? And we'd been through a month of having no food, so we decided we were going to eat good. So we slept on the floor and sat on the floor, but we ate steak and ribs, and we ate good. So that's how I got to Phoenix. Hope you enjoyed the story, and if this video has been long, it's because I got my director's account last night. I'll try to keep them fairly short, because I know how it is when I see a video that's really long, I'm leery of watching it. But thank you for your time. Hope you enjoyed the story, and I will see you guys around.